In a couple months, I'll be relocating from the Pacific Northwest, so during the summer I wanted to get in one last wheeling trip and head out to the coast. For those of us that enjoy off-roading in the Pacific Northwest, especially in Oregon, Browns Camp OHV area is pretty well known and has everything from easy, just forest roads all the way up to what they refer to as double and triple black diamonds, similar to what a ski resort would be, with the black diamonds being the hardest. I had the can opener trail on my mind as we were heading out to Browns Camp, and upon getting there and seeing this vehicle that was heading up it, I decided that it probably wouldn't be the best until I get lockers. Anyways, this guy had a really cool rig he built. He had an Atlas transfer case, 529s. He was on 43-inch TSLs, and it was cool watching him just go real slow through this section, but then ultimately made me realize that there's no way I was going to try and attempt this without lockers.
You got a giant, I don't know that you want to climb that. You want to go off of the point, or do you want it to be to the side of the point? Then
Since can opener was designated as a double black diamond, I figured trying one difficulty level down, which would be a single black diamond, would be a good test. We found this trail that was right off Lida Road next to can opener. We did this hill in reverse because I wanted to try and see how my brakes were functioning and how the low gears were functioning. This trail ended up being a lot of fun. There were a lot of rocks, and it kind of tested my feeling with the low range gears. we are at the spot I was at a couple years ago out here in Lincoln City in Oregon, and we have a really nice view behind us. It's a little hazy, but you can see the ocean, so we were lucky enough to find this campsite unoccupied. We're gonna make some birria tacos. I got some brisket, so we're gonna make the consomme right now. We've got our brisket here. We've got some arbol chilies. We've got some chipotle chilies, as well as some California chili pods. I'm guessing these are ancho or something like that. I basically just took out all the seeds because we don't want to make it too spicy because we're weak and feeble. You want it spicy?
I love spicy food.
All right, well, we'll see.
Spicy.
Did you bring extra toilet paper?
That's what all the leaves are for.
Ah, okay. These are some pretty rigid looking leaves here. I don't know.
Make a man out of you.
They'll do something. All right, so we're gonna reconstitute all these peppers. Got our water starting to boil here. I'm just gonna throw all these in to start the consomme. We're consummating the consomme. And we'll add a couple Roma tomatoes or whatever type of tomato you want just to get them, start to get them mushy. We're gonna blend all this in a sec. You wanna use white or Spanish onions if you have them. I just had red onion. All right, so these are all reconstituted, getting softer. Half of it's going in now into the blender. So you've got the chilies, the tomato, you've got a little bit of the liquid, and then paprika, oregano, granulated garlic, just salt or whatever, black pepper, and we'll blend it up. I added the rest of the onion and a little bit of tomato paste as well. And throw all of that in there, both batches. And then this is gonna be the base for cooking the meat with a brisket. On some olive oil, stir it around. And then we'll throw in all of our meat. This is just brisket. And I'm not cutting it up all the way. Just wanted to cut it up enough so that it could absorb the sauce. This will pull apart after it's done cooking. So it should be like 20, 30 minutes. You can go a lot slower and lower, but for sake of time, because we're hungry, we're just gonna melt these puppies with the lid on. I'm just gonna drop this in here and then go right into the hot pan. So these are just yellow corn tortilla. I like corn tortilla as opposed to flour, so. All right, so then I cut all of the pieces of meat into little strips. Put a little bit of white man's Mexican cheese, some diced red onion, a little bit of lime. Should have cilantro for this, but I forgot. Again, these are like makeshift. And then the consomme for dipping, of course. And then I'm gonna do a Riesling with this. I figured since this is gonna have a good deal of heat with it, that a Riesling would be a good option. So this is super cheap. I like to give options that aren't extremely expensive because I ain't rich, and that way you guys can try it too. Chateau Ste. Michelle should be able to find in most stores, but the dry Riesling, in my opinion, is better. Although sweet white wine does go well with spicy food, there's still a little bit of sugar. So dry Riesling, meaning it's the opposite of sweet, so not as much sugar. So this is more on the dry end of the scale. It still has a little bit of residual sugar, so let's pop it open. I did clean this. It did have the consomme in it, but I would use a regular camping cup. But for educational purpose for y'all, so you can see the color and see how you should drink like a cultured wine drinker, swirling your glass like this and getting the bouquet. No, but in all seriousness, really decent wine. Chateau Ste. Michelle gets a bad rap because it's a cheaper option and it's mass produced, but this stuff's really good. It's low alcohol percentage. I'm guessing like 11, 12%. High acidity, which is good for food pairing. Acidity in white wine is kind of the backbone of it, and it helps pair well with, you know, any type of food. Generally more first courses and not something robust and spicy like this, but I don't think being pretentious and saying, oh, that wine doesn't pair well with that because of this and that is kind of stupid. So anyways, nose, like green apple, lychee, peach, maybe a little bit of lime peel. On the palate, good acidity, still pretty sweet, which will counteract the spiciness of the birria or the consomme. Decent, you know, it's a $10 bottle. So now we can take our birria tacos and dip it in our consomme. Pretty good. They didn't have chuck. Not a huge fan of the brisket, to be honest. It's kind of chewy.